Let me loose. Let me loose. Let me loose. Set me free. Yes. Good night, comrades. Special good night to my colleague, MPs, Anna Brown. Anna Brown actually was my senior on campus, inducted me on Butchers. Long time we have come, long time. Julian. People say me and Julian opposite. Julian are the calm one and me are the mad one. Every time they say, why you can't be more like Julian? So Julian don't get too much trouble. And Julian up on Twitter, Julian said that the government is doing the right thing, and me say, yo, born live right. To all I said the same thing, I said the same thing a different way. Yeah. Of course, doing fast, they say them call me crazy Jim, a long time I head at. Men doing actually live in the Bahamas together for 2 years. Yeah, not yet. We lived there simultaneously. Not together. Yeah. I was there and he was there. Studying. Yeah. Yeah, guys, the Julian saying on the nature, the dreadful things. Of course, Pat Morgan, it was my counselor, chief supporter, all kind of things. Pat Morgan get the most cuss for me. Yeah, every day them cuss Pat Morgan for me. And every day she cuss them for me, so I cuss for cuss, that's what it is. But everybody here, man, because I never done all the time. By the time I talk, I have to yell up everybody. Bunny, the original bonfire man, everybody, all councillors, all caretakers, all comrades, all turn back labor right, everybody big up on the set. So we don't want labor right turn back. Me now don't turn back labor right, because it means that we have more than them are blessed. Me don't turn back PMP, because it means that we have less than them are blessed. So sometime a labor right must realize they're in the wrong place and come over. So that's what the thing said. Alright, tonight I want to talk to you about a little thing. I want to set the context of what I talk to you, because if you don't understand the context, then you're not going to really understand the reasoning. So the context is important, because sometimes you say to a man, would you buy a big stone? You don't buy a stone? Who will not buy a stone? Most times you ask a man to buy a stone, he said, no, I'm only buying a stone. Because stone they bound. But suppose you pack a pit. If you pack a pit, you have to buy stone. In fact, suppose you build a house. Gravel and all them things that necessary. And when Paul Burke got engaged to Angela Brownberg, he have to buy a diamond. No? So Rasta don't need a diamond. But diamond and stone same way. So if you understand the context, you can understand the reasoning. So the context you want is really what kind of country we want, because most people doesn't talk and we don't have a shared understanding as a country as to what type of country we want. And the type of country we want, in my mind, is a developed country. So most time I hear people talk about growth, I get a little bit concerned because they can grow and not develop. You see, growth is really where the GDP, the country become more productive. And the country can become more productive by laying off people and actually replacing human beings with machines. So when you talk about growth, it actually means that the owners of capital are certain to benefit, but the owners of labor are not certain to benefit. Now the majority of us here and the majority of Jamaicans are owners of labor, come from the working class, which means that you make the majority of your living from offering your labor for pay. The others are actually owners of capital, which means that they get the majority of their earnings by offering and using capital for profit. So therefore, when you talk about growth, the only man certain to benefit is the owner of capital. Therefore, we want the PMP to talk more about development, because they can have growth and no development, but they cannot have development and no growth. So therefore, the context I want to talk to you in is development, which is not measured by GDP, but by HDI, the Human Development Index. And that Human Development Index measure income in measure, education in measure, life expectancy, all them things they come under it. So when me in a parliament and hear everybody talk about growth, me get nervous. Because it look like we now look on the bigger side of growth, which is development. So growth is really a strategy to create development. Because sometimes it take money to do the things where you need. But I don't really believe in that it take cash to care. Because enough man we have a whole heap of cash don't care. Enough man we have no cash care a lot. So it don't really take cash to care. It might not take cash to implement, but it don't take cash to care. So therefore, as a country and as a government and as a party, we have to look more into development more than growth. Very important so we understand that first context. Because if we're looking for growth, then all we want is to make it easy to do business. If we're looking for development, then we have to talk about education and healthcare and access to income. So that is why now the context we're going to talk about tonight is growth and development, where we are looking on development over growth. So when we look on that now, we have to look first of all upon the education. I said last night, so when I watch television, I used to say even the animal look out for his children and equip his children to actually survive in the future. So that means that the lion have to teach him cub how to run down a gazelle, and a gazelle have to teach him baby how to run from a lion. If the lion don't teach the cub how to run down a gazelle, he might go dead for hungry when he grow big. And if the gazelle don't teach him baby how to run from a lion, then the lion going to eat him. So therefore, every adult must teach him child the tools how to survive in the future. As I say, when you check out the real situation, the dog must teach the puppy how to run down the puss, but the puss must teach the kitten how to shift the dog. If the puss don't teach the kitten how to shift the dog, then the puss will get left in a life. So you must equip your children with what is necessary in the future for them to survive. Because we look on dog in our way. We more time we kick dog and say go a dirty dog. And more time we stone puss and say go a thief in puss. But the puss do better than we because we now look out for our children. And the puss look out for film kitten. Sometimes if you go near your dog, puppy bite you. So when we check the situation, education is a thing we don't hear about in education, a thing we experience. So therefore, I realize that there's no place for the uneducated in today's world. Because once upon a time, a cutlass used to chop his weed, what can do it? So machine have replaced human being. Once upon a time, when we used to go in our place with sledgehammer, now you carry, hey, watch your light, you know what I do? So you have to have knowledge for all the reason, people. You can't say power and not say knowledge, because knowledge is power. And that's the thing there right now. Some people know some man say power and not say knowledge. That means that when have some turn back labor right, we don't understand PMP yet. If you say power, you must say knowledge. So therefore, are two type of people in the labor force. You have those who are actually working for the government, public sector, paid by government, and those who are paid by the private entity, private sector. Now we hear some of the public sector people are lick out so they want a raise a pay. Nothing wrong with asking for a raise a pay. Me don't know who in here say don't want a raise. Me want a raise right now, too. Me know say that look bad if me ask. But me not glad if me say raise a pay now. Me not hide and talk. Everybody in here say want a raise. So how now cause a man we are asked? Me don't like the style, I like so we are move. We say true we a PMP now. We are cost them through them and ask is something reasonable for ask. Nothing wrong with police want raise a pay. Because police now if you have lawyer for Indicom, so he want a look savings to make sure say Indicom when Indicom run in on him can pay him lawyer. So nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with teacher want raise a pay because picnic a beg teacher them lunch money. So teacher want a little top up. We can get picnic a little top up. So nothing wrong with asking. But on the other hand, we also understand the position that the government is in. And we understand say it don't make sense that you kiss and you hug up and you feel good for 1 year and then suffer for 10 years. Because it makes sense that you sacrifice 1 year and kill your teeth for 10 years than kill your teeth for 1 year and then dead for 10 years. So when we look on the situation, we understand what IMF is saying. Because the IMF is the lender of last resort. That means it's the last man you want to borrow from. You ever broke till you have to go to the last person where you want to borrow from? Who are going to talk your business down at McGregor Gully and tell everybody about the time when you come borrow from them. That is the lender of last resort. You have some people when them lend your money, them try cuss you to tell people, you know. If you just come out and say, don't think I remember when they borrow my money. That is a lender of last resort. So there's a reason why you don't want to go to the lender of last resort. That reason is because there's likely to be outcomes that you don't like. So when the government go to the IMF is going to have things that you're not going to necessarily like, because there are others that you don't prefer to borrow from, but couldn't lend you or wouldn't lend you. So sometimes you go to your sister and say, lend me a thing, and she say, remember last week you borrowed me 20 grand and buy ear, and I know I can't get the 20 grand and I can't even borrow the ear. No. So you go check your friend where you keep her baby the other day. And say, remember I keep your baby when you gone on the road? And she say, yeah. And she said, so give me something where you get off of the road, because I know when you do the road, you come back with something. And she said, God, no, you know, so you call him, he never answer, so I never get nothing. So you have to go to the lender of last resort. So the IMF is simply that, the lender of last resort. So when the government, whether PFP, JLP, well, NDM now going to have power, so take out that. Asta Black are going before NDM, so I don't know what. Whoever go to IMF, I go get some things they may prefer not get. One of them is going to be that your public sector can't be too high. So when the government say we can't go much further, it's because if we go over that, then we are going to lose the IMF. If you lose the IMF, then you can't get no other lender, because the IMF was what? Last resort. So therefore you don't have nobody else to go to. So when you're over there and they make you sit down on the veranda for a good 2 hours, you cannot walk out because you need the money. So you have to go and wait, even though you know so them now nothing inside them and talk about me, I bust my husband bum, so we can't come to you now. And you have to sit up on the veranda because that is the only person where you can go to. You don't understand what I'm talking about. Because some people now make you understand what you're talking about. So therefore now, the government say we can't pay the teacher them. Now understand this, it's bigger than just the public sector. Because there are two employers. There is the public sector and the private sector. So we have to look on the whole employment situation and realize that there are problems in the employment situation. And the problem in the employment situation is that those who are in the private sector are taking advantage of the workers. So therefore now you have one man doing 2 people work. So once upon a time when we used to say 9 to 5, you have to reach a work 7 and you're now left till 9. Because the work what you have cannot be finished in 40 hours. So there's a law where say a 40-hour work week, but there's a job that can't be finished in 40 hours. So therefore, one man is doing 2 man work. That means that one man that should have a work, don't have a work, because one man is doing his work. So if we are going to increase the level of employment, we have to first look upon the labor laws and start to enforce the labor laws. Because if you allow one man for the 2 man work, then you have always have an extra man unemployed. Why is it that one man is accepting that? He's accepting that because him no 10 man waiting on him work. So him now say nothing because him prefer half a bread than no bread at all. So therefore, the government have to intervene, and the government must intervene because there's an imbalance in power. You see, it's a relationship between the employer, the man who's giving the work, and the employee, the man who's looking the work. Now, every relationship have a power balance. So, you see the lady them are married and them at work, them relationship have a reasonable balance. That means, if your husband and give you bun, you can say, I can't bother with this, and pack up a little bag and pan, and move out. If you are work, if your husband at work and you not work, you have to stay and lock your eye and go on like you know see, because there's a power imbalance. Now the man them about shot and I say, yeah, true, play. If you're a girl at work and you not work, you have to watch a one Brazil. You can't go on like you want, have no problem with it. Because I saw the thing said, there is a power imbalance. If there's a wash 2 brazier and don't make your friend know. Just say, baby, nobody tell nobody. Because you know, so they're going to laugh off of me. That's so the thing said. So, therefore, if you don't want to wash the brazier, prepare on yourself if you can't have a work. That's all me I say.